All right, let's talk about Witch Hat Atelier. Now, when you first look at it, you might think, oh, cute, another cozy fantasy manga. But trust me, you absolutely cannot judge this book by its cover. That whimsical wrapper, it's hiding something way, way smarter. This isn't just another story about a girl wanting to be a witch. It is, and I'm not exaggerating here, one of the most intelligently designed and socially critical manga we've seen in a long time.
And look, you don't have to just take my word for it. Critics, fans, pretty much everyone is obsessed with this series. You see words like sumptuous, evocative, breathtaking thrown around all the time, and honestly, they're not wrong. The art is just, it's on a whole other level. And that's exactly where we need to start.
Okay, Section 1, the art. And right off the bat, I gotta tell you, it's designed to pull a fast one on you. The whole aesthetic, it feels like you're watching a Lost Studio Ghibli movie, right? You've got these incredible landscapes, super charming characters. It's this warm, inviting world that just makes you feel all cozy and safe. And right in the middle of it is our hero, Coco. She's just a regular girl, a tailor's daughter, who dreams of magic in a world that has told her her entire life, nope, not for you.
So why does the art feel so different? Well, it all comes down to the creator, Kamome Shirahama. Get this, she's a graduate from the Tokyo University of the Arts. She's a total master of old-school pen and ink. We're talking analog tools here. And she's even done cover work for Marvel and DC Comics. Yeah. So this incredible blend of Western and Eastern styles, it creates something that is completely and totally her own. But all that beautiful, comforting art I was just talking about, it's all a lie. It's hiding a massive secret. And that brings us to how this world actually works. Because the magic here, it is not what you think it is. The entire foundation of their society, everything they believe in, it's all built on one single gigantic lie. And when our girl Coco accidentally stumbles onto the truth, well, the entire world cracks wide open. So here's the deal. The lie everyone is fed from birth is that magic is this innate talent. You're either born a witch or you're not. Simple as that. But the truth? The secret so dangerous it could tear society apart? Magic is a technology. It's a science. You don't cast it with wands or words, you draw it. And that means anyone, literally anyone, who has the right ink and knows how to draw the symbols can do it. This just blows the whole chosen one trope right out of the water. Power in this world isn't in your bloodline, it's in your head. It's knowledge. What we're looking at here is what you'd call a hard magic system. And it is one of the best I have ever seen. I mean, forget all the vague power of friendship stuff you see in other series. No offense to Fairy Tail or Black Clover. Here, the magic operates on a strict set of concrete, almost scientific rules that you, the reader, can actually learn and understand. It's all about logic and precision. So how does it actually work? Well, it's kind of like a recipe with 3 main ingredients. Step 1, you draw the sigil in the middle. This is the core of the spell, what determines its element, fire, water, light, that kind of thing. Step 2, you add the signs around it. These are your modifiers. They control the shape, the intensity, the oomph. And finally, step 3, you have to draw a perfect circle, the enclosing ring all the way around it. The spell does absolutely nothing until that circle is closed. It's not a gift, it's a craft. It's a science you have to learn. So it really all boils down to this one simple, amazing idea. Penmanship is power. If you draw a clean, steady, precise line, you get a powerful, stable spell. But if your hand shakes and you draw a wobbly, messed up line, you get weak or even dangerously unpredictable magic. An artist's technical skill is literally the measure of their power in this world. Which brings up a pretty big question, right? If anyone can learn to do this, why on earth is it a secret? And that question leads us right into the Great Magic Conspiracy. This, my friends, is where that cozy Ghibli vibe just shatters. And underneath it, you find this dark, twisty political thriller. I mean, think about it. Why would an entire society hide a technology that could help literally everyone? Well, the answer is the same as it always is in these stories: fear. So here's the backstory. Way, way back, magic wasn't a secret. Everybody knew about it. Everybody could use it. And you can probably guess what happened next. It led to catastrophic, world-ending wars. Humanity basically brought itself to the brink of total annihilation. So to stop it, a group of very powerful witches made a pact. They used a forbidden, world-altering spell to perform a global memory wipe. They literally erased the knowledge of magic from the minds of almost every single person on the planet, just to create a new, controlled society where they could enforce peace at any cost. So who's in charge of this new world order? That would be the establishment, the pointed cap witches. At the very top, you've got the three Ys. They're the big bosses, they make all the rules. Then you've got their enforcers, the Knights Morales. Think of them as the magic police, and their main job is to hunt down any non-witch who learns the secret and, poof, wipe their memory. And to make sure even the witches stay in line, they assign these supervisors called watchful eyes to every single atelier just to spy on them and make sure nobody's studying forbidden magic. It is a system of absolute, total control.
But, you know, a system that rigid, that controlling, it's always going to have cracks. And that's where we find the story's real heart, the rebels and the oppressed. Because when you look into those cracks, you see the people who are being absolutely crushed by this so-called perfect system. And this is where the story gets really heartbreaking. You meet characters like Tarata. He has a kind of color blindness, they call it silverwash, that makes it impossible for him to see the different magical inks. So the system just says, no, you can't be a witch. End of story. Or there's a boy named Custis who's paralyzed. There's forbidden magic that could heal him, that could let him walk again, but the law says he can't have it. And his father Dagda, my God, he's trapped in a faulty time loop spell that forces him to relive the moment of his death over and over again every single day. These are the people the system leaves behind.
And I came across this quote from a fan analysis that just hits the nail on the head. It says that by not sharing magic, the witches are just another boot applying pressure to the necks of the working class. I mean, wow. The witches probably see themselves as these benevolent guardians, right? But by hoarding all this power, all this technology for themselves, they've created this huge divide. They're the elite, and the regular people are left to suffer with problems that magic could just fix. So, of course, a system this oppressive is going to create an opposition, and that's where we meet the antagonists. Or are they? The Brimmed Hats. They are a rogue faction of witches living completely outside the law. They're the ones digging up all the forbidden magic, trying to bring that suppressed knowledge back into the light. In fact, they're the ones who left that magic book for Coco to find in the first place, kicking this whole story off. And what makes this so good is that it's not a simple good versus evil story, not at all. On one side, you have the pointed caps. They're all about order, stability, protecting people for the greater good. But their methods are incredibly oppressive. Then you have the Brimmed Hats. They're fighting for freedom, for knowledge for all. But they're also reckless, they're dangerous, and a lot of the time, they're just acting out of pure selfishness. The story never tells you who to root for. It just asks you, who's right here? Okay, so this all brings us to the big picture. Section 5, Power, Art, and Control. This is where every single thread we've been talking about, the gorgeous art, that super detailed magic system, the dark political conspiracy, it all ties together into one beautiful, terrifying idea. And here it is, the ultimate point of the whole series. The magic system is the system of social control. They're one and the same. By deciding which spells are forbidden, things that could heal people or change their bodies, the witch society gets to control the very reality of everyone living under their rule. The rules of the magic are literally the laws of their world. And that leaves you with some massive questions to chew on. Like, who gets to decide what knowledge is too dangerous for the rest of us? Is forcing peace on society worth the price of individual freedom and actual progress? And at its core, is art, the act of creation itself, a tool for joy that should be shared with everyone? Or is it a weapon so powerful that it has to be locked away and controlled? Now, if any of this sounds even remotely interesting to you, there has never, ever been a better time to jump in, because an anime adaptation is officially coming in April 2026. You can get in now, read the manga, and be way ahead of the curve when everyone starts talking about what is easily one of the most thoughtful fantasy stories out there today. Because in the end, Witch Hat Atelier leaves you with one single haunting question that sticks with you long after you put the book down. If anyone has the potential to create, who deserves the power to control it? In a world where the power to create is also the power to destroy, who do you trust with that kind of responsibility? It's a question that's way bigger than just this manga, isn't it? It's something we're all still trying to figure out.